Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha, and I hope everyone is having a fabulous Friday. Okay. It is almost, well, yeah, pretty much it's the weekend. Okay. If we off right now, it's the weekend. And I know I'm excited about it. I hope you all are as well. Okay. I took me a little nap today, y'all, and so I'm energetic. I'm awake, and I did multiple lives because I did not want to intertwine the two topics. I just recently did. Michael, take that off. I just recently did a live over the Erder trial for Tyree Nichols. I don't know if you all remember that case from January 2023, and so they're finally having the trial for three of the officers that's taking place now. And so we discussed that and looked at the body cam footage from back then when it happened, and we took a look at the testimony of one of the officers, the one that hit Tyree Nichols with the baton. And so, if y'all didn't get a chance to watch that, make sure y'all catch up with that live. And then also this morning, I did a live, and we went all over the place this morning. And one of the things that we did talk about, some of us in the chat had lost moms. And so we talked about different things because Mother's Day is coming up, different things that you could do around this season to help with the grief and the pain that kind of comes with that, so they won't be so hard on you during this season. So we talked a little bit about that this morning. If you want to watch that live as well, let's see who we have here so far. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let everyone know we are live. Let's hit that like button. Hi, who the F is she? Hey, sis. Thank you for joining and for being first in the building. I appreciate it, sis. Thank you so much. Hi, Beverly. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Good evening, B. Thank you for joining again. You and Beverly. Okay. Hi, Christy. Welcome. Thank you for joining. But y'all, I wanted to get into this topic because uh many of y'all have been telling me about the Nika Diwa lady, okay? And I went over to her channel and I looked through some videos and I still could not figure out. Hi Tammy, welcome again. Thank you so much for joining, sis. And I still could not figure out what was going on. Okay. Justice, I'm on live. What's that? That's Micah's. Where did that book come from? Hold on 1 second. Good evening, Janetta. Thank you for joining. Okay, girl, that was a hell of a field trip. Hello, okay, V. And so, y'all, I would go over to this lady's channel and I'm looking like, well, what am I missing? It was almost like when we go to Thorne's channel, if you didn't know about everything else, you would just see this perfect family. And so I kept seeing this perfect couple and kids and all of that until I watched the Deinfluenced channel. And I went on a field trip over there. First, I went on a field trip when she was discussing the Queen of Kings. I went over there for that. And she did such a phenomenal job with that breakdown. So then I said, okay, I'm missing something with this channel because there are other reaction channels that cover Nika Diwa. Okay, I didn't realize it was so many out there. So I said, wait a second, I just got to tune into this to see what am I missing. And so Deinfluenced, her channel, she really does a great job of breaking down these channels, these family vlogging channels. Who the F is she? Said you can't miss anything with that woman. Girl, I was missing some stuff. Okay. But the more I listened to her, the more I saw some similarities between Nika Diwa and Thorn from Queen of Kings. Okay. Now I'm going to break this down because I don't want to do it all in one live. And so today we're going to focus just on the portion that she talked about with the cringy content. Okay, because I know those of you who have been following and we've discussed the Queen of Kings, y'all know it's plenty of cringy content that we have been watching and seeing on a daily. Okay. And so, yeah, my mouth dropped. My mind was blown when I started, the further I got into this video. So we're gonna go through some things together, and kind of talk about some similarities between these two ladies that ultimately spreads out to their channels. In the meantime, make sure you hit that like. Also, if you would like to support for free, that is one way, and to watch the commercials. If you would like to help me reach my goal, you can send any super chat of $5 or more, and I would greatly appreciate it. All right, here we go. Hi, Karen. Welcome back. Who the F is she? Says that the Asian lady that changed? Yes, that changed the diaper on camera. Girl. Okay. I didn't even know. I didn't even know about that. All right, here we go.
One thing that I noticed surrounding Nika's content is the fact that she tends to recycle content and constantly. And she also tends to steal content to try and go viral. For example, she reposted the viral video of someone calling her out for stealing the neighbor's baby on YouTube, but when she reposted it, she censored her daughter's face, which I found really interesting because why are you doing that? You don't censor your children. Don't try to act all like good mom on YouTube. We all
Ooh, y'all. I had to pause it right there. Okay. Now, y'all, remember, we've been talking about this recently. Okay. Thorn, Queen of Kings, y'all know that we've been saying, wow, she has been reposting old videos that once were viral, that had gotten a lot of views. And Peach is starting to do this too, y'all. Okay, I'm starting to notice Peach McIntyre is doing this as well. So what they're doing is, if they created videos that had a lot of views, they can edit, make a few edits to it, and repost it to get paid again. So what she's saying is, Nika Diwa was taking these videos that she had already posted, and she was making some edits, whether it was to the caption, okay, or she would downright take someone else's video, repost it, and make a couple of edits so that she could get the likes and views. Now, I don't know, to be honest, I don't think I've seen Thorn do that as much with taking other people's content. Um, I haven't seen her do that, but I have seen her reposting her older content, because we know when she was bald headed, or when her baby was younger and things like that. Why would you be posting that right now when they're older? Okay. And then also what she just said about their kids. Now, it's okay for Thorn to come out here and post videos of her children cursing out adults and go live multiple times of them doing that. Oh, but when someone else does that, you don't want that to be shown. So Nika Diwa, when she reposted a video that had her child, oh, that time you wanted to cover up your child's face and blur out the face. Okay. So see, it's the double standards for me in both of these ladies. I'm starting already, before we even got too deep into this, I'm already seeing some similarities. Okay. It's okay. Because see, you want to portray that you're a perfect mother. Okay. We want to, oh no, my kids, they don't talk like that. They don't act like that. Oh, I have to protect them. Yeah, on one hand, you want to protect them, you're for the kids, but then on the other hand, we're almost exploiting the children and showing them in ways that could be potentially embarrassing for them. Okay, when do we draw the line? So that is something that I noticed that they both do. Hi, Life, welcome. Thank you for joining.
know that on TikTok you're not. Just saying. I want you guys to think about what audience she's appealing to. This might be the type of crap that she has to deal with on the day to day, these types of comments, but posting something like this is 100% rage bait. Why? It is posting something controversial in order to make people outraged. Like I said in the Dip the Toes dive, stop. It's 2024. Biracial families exist. And if you take a 2-second look at her content, you will see that her husband has very dark skin. So for people to actually be making these comments, like, come on. But then you have to think about the fact that most of her content is rage bait. It's put forth to make people upset.
Sound familiar? Oh, really? Hi, Ebony. Welcome. Yes, Ebony. I don't know what's going on. A lot of my videos, and I don't think I would be shadow banned because I don't have any strikes or anything like that. So I don't know. I try to share it multiple times. Like I do the notification, schedule it, and then I also try to share it onto my community wall. But some of my lives and videos, I don't know. People are not. Um, Getting the notifications for some reason. And it could be YouTube, because I noticed the other night I was looking at some of the channels, everybody's views were low. And I said, I don't think these people sleep. I don't think they're getting the notifications for multiple channels, to be honest. But we just started. Okay. Now, does that sound familiar? The rage baiting, okay, getting people upset. Oh my goodness. Has Thorn been following Nika? Has Nika been following Thorn? And then to talk about the interracial marriage part, okay? Like she said, it's a lot of biracial, interracial couples out here. And to say certain things like my white husband raised these two black boys, or my black kings, and all of this, it puts an emphasis, and it shows that you're thinking about color all the time. Okay. Everyone else does not necessarily think like that. Some people would say, oh, your husband is raising your kids, or so forth. Ebony said, what's going on? Is she comparing them, or are they feuding? No, I'm comparing them. She was actually, because she's already done a live about Thorn, exposing Queen of Kings, and then she's exposed Nika Diwa. And as I was looking at this particular video, it made me think about some of the similarities between her and Thorn. Hey, Terry, welcome. Thank you for joining. This live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Thank you so much, Terry, for reminding me. Okay. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, Terry haven't been in here. I appreciate that. So, yes, we already know the clickbait, the rage bait, the race baiting, all of that would be strategies. Okay.
And to get people to comment. And we're going to talk more about her racially profiling her kids because she's the one who does it more than anyone. You know, she's not getting these kinds of comments all day, every day. No, stop. Nobody believes you.
Well, actually, who the F is she? I'm learning with you. And it's quick to catch on because she's going to say something that is interesting that I also paid attention to with Thorn. So we're going to see a lot of similarities. Of course, there are some differences. So yes, I got you.
Over the last few years, studies have been done that show that the more enraging a topic is, especially if it elicits anger or sadness, the more engagement it will get. It is what it is because people can't help themselves.
And that is a tactic that a lot of these influencers are using. Rage bait, trying to be controversial because they know that even if you're upset, guess what? You're going to come to their post or their video and you're going to comment a lot. That is engagement, which means more money, more clicks, more views for them. So they put these different controversial topics, titles, captions on their videos to make people get upset, and so that people can come in and talk about it. Notice even with Peach McIntyre, she did, and I was saying this earlier in Yo-Yo's live. She did a post talking about there are a lot of women. Excuse me to Terry in here. A lot of women that go into the pool that are on their cycles. Okay, because she did multiple posts talking about she has had 9 kids and she still doesn't know how to use a tampon and all that. Like, you know that that's disgusting to talk about things like that. So what it is to put these things out here so that people will talk about you. And that leads people over to your channel. They will come and comment under your posts, under your shorts, and things of that sort. So that is a strategy and a tactic that many of them use.
This is why over the past couple years, we've seen a huge boom in rage
Hi,
bait. And as
Kim.
long as
Right.
people keep engaging with it, these people keep getting away with it. And honestly, I'm so done with rage bait. I think it's the dumbest crap
Wow,
ever. And I
Ebony.
think that if you're putting your children at the center of your rage bait, that you should not have kids. That is
Ooh.
such a dangerous position to put children in the middle of. We saw it with Nurse Hannah just a
Wow. Putting children, she said, if you are putting children in the middle of your rage bait, you should not have had kids. And y'all know, especially with Thorn, we have seen her use her children negatively, okay? Putting them in the shower, cold and shivering, so that people can get upset. Doing different things to the kids on screen, okay? So that people can talk and have something to say. To me, that's child exploitation. Hi, Kay Brown. Welcome, sis. Thank you for joining. That's child exploitation. And so she's bringing up these situations with Nika Diwa that she does similar things using her children as well to get people upset, to talk about the racial part and all of that.
couple weeks ago because she built her entire platform to be rage bait. And then when one thing comes up about her toddler, a big thing, guys, people catch that one sign of something being off. Obviously, the internet is going to latch onto it and explode. You built a platform
Mm-hmm.
based off of pissing off the internet. I don't understand how people with children can possibly build rage bait platforms.
Right.
But Nika and Hannah are good friends. So it's safe to say that their content is one and the same. And I got a comment on my Hannah video basically saying that they are two extremely emotionally immature adults who didn't heal their own shit before bringing kids into this world. And
Ooh, she said, I got to give her some snaps. Okay. Baby. Did we not say that about Thorn? That she has had some emotional issues from childhood that she went through that was unhealed before bringing, because to me it seems like she's her children's sister, okay, not necessarily mother. Okay, B said, open book. I would love to see the two of you engage in conversation about these helpers. Okay, ooh, B, I would love it because she is on point. When I tell you a lot of her comments, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Ebony says she is right. Thorn had kids by Bigfoot to say she has mixed kids. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we see. That's what we see. She's immature. She needs some healing, some therapy. Hey, only one Lola with the info. Hey, sis. Good evening. I have not talked to you all day. I hope all is well. Yes, y'all, make sure you hit that like button. It is for free. Yes, and so I found this quite interesting. I found it quite interesting that Nika Diwa, they said that in some of her videos, she's even brought up her issues, some of her mental issues and so forth. And Thorne has kind of talked about postpartum depression, things of that sort. But we can see some deeper things that she's gone through, even going from home to home when she was younger. Her mom has talked about that. I also feel like she doesn't get along with a lot of her family. You don't hear her really talking about her family. We just saw her mom helping her, because she went out there to get the procedure, breast surgery, and her mom was there to help. But she rarely talks about her family, okay, or hanging out. It takes a funeral or something serious before we see any of her family. So she has some deep rooted issues, and now she's brought kids into this thing with the marriage. And hey, uh, we see how that's going, okay? Letting the kids do whatever. B said you should reach out to her to see if she is interested in coming on for a deep dive. Oh, I know. I definitely will put that in her comments and see. I would love that. Oh, okay, sis. I hope you have a great night at work. Nika did something similar. Exactly who the F is she? Because they know that this is going to get the talking going about them, all of that. They know that. Ebony said Thorne literally said she would have another baby if it was a girl with blue eyes like Bigfoot. I thought that was gross and disrespectful to number one and two, especially when she praises number three's hair to the boys. Exactly. Exactly. Because then it makes them look at themselves like, oh my goodness. But that's a cycle. Okay, her mom talking about breaking the cycles, but we see cycles with the color situation. You know, allegedly the dad placed a paper bag up to her mom's face, you know, to see, said that she barely made it as far as being light enough. Okay, and now she wants to be a white woman. Okay, she thinks she's a white woman in a black person's body. Oh my goodness, life. Congratulations. Woo, woo. I'm so happy for you, sis. Congratulations. Oh my gosh. Life came in. She said, y'all, I gotta go. I gotta go take my exam. And so to God be the glory. I'm so happy that you passed your test. Yes. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yes, y'all. So yes, they are bringing these kids in, and you know, a lot of people need healing. You know, we may have all gone through some form of trauma or something of that sort, but they're putting their lives out here publicly, okay, and doing a lot of this foolishness in front of the world. Anyone can click on these videos and see the things that they're doing with their children. Right, they're using kids for content. We see that. We see that happening with both of them.
And you will see that as we go through, because Nika's entire personality is literally using her past trauma and insecurities against everyone else and playing it off as jokes or playing it off as satire or a skit or whatever, but also trying to be this relatable person and make the uncomfortable part comfortable. So, which is it? You can't have it both ways. It can't all be satire and skits and scripted and also be relatable. And I really feel like that's what's off about Nika's content is the fact that she's trying to make stuff like abuse, stuff like toxic relationships and toxic parenting normalized. And it's not normal. But she's playing it off as a joke, as satire. And you can't have it both ways. It doesn't work like that. You're literally
Right.
building a super toxic social media platform and you're putting your kids at the center of it all. And her kids are at the receiving end of some of these disgusting, horrible comments without their consent. And for Nika, she tries to play it off as I'm not going to let my kids be bullied. I'm going to empower my girls and all this stuff. Yet here you are allowing people online to bully your kids, to make hurtful, hateful comments towards your kids. And it doesn't matter how much you empower your children or anyone for that matter. If you receive hateful comments, it will affect you, especially if your mom's made it your entire personality.
And it depends on what you're putting out there, where you're putting your children in the line of fire. Like if I go back to the cursing video, okay, yes, that was wrong. And the people, some people were talking about the kids cussing better than they can talk in English and things of that sort. When they do things like this, you are opening your kids up to be talked about. Okay, so it's not just about you, and I'm not saying that it's right for people to talk about kids, but when you put them out there like that, people do naturally start to talk about them. It's just, I mean, it is what it is. So cover your children. Don't just exploit them and put them out there to be embarrassed when they're having an embarrassing moment, looking crazy, clowning you. Because a lot of times, if they're clowning you or doing something inappropriate, you can hit the mute and then come back to it.
And allowing that to continue to happen and continuing to post your children online is just disgusting. Another thing I've noticed when we're talking in terms of content is trends. She tends to jump on whatever's trending at that moment. What that ends up coming across as over time is someone who's just greedy for attention. It's that clout goblin behavior that we've seen in the past,
Right to
and
the
nothing is genuine anymore because everything is about virality. For example, when 17 diapers went viral, she jumped on that with her own version of 17 diapers and was fully supportive of it, which can we stop? Can we stop supporting that, please? And there will always be trends on social media. That's what social media is basically built off of, is trends. But the problem with Nika is that she jumps on every single one in hopes of going viral again. There was also the finish your plate. Oh, never mind, listen to your body. And whatever's trending at that moment, she will jump on that, seemingly despite what she actually believes in, which is ultimately playing on the trust of her audience because people don't know who she really is, especially people who have been following her long term, who are constantly seeing this flip flop behavior, this changing. And Nika tries to play it off as, oh, well, we're parents and it doesn't come with a handbook and we do the best we can until we know better than we do better.
You were absolutely right about that. I was wrong. I used to think that that was the goal, to like teach your kids to finish everything on their plate because I was taught that. But I'm now putting more emphasis on her listening to her own body cues. Let you in on a little secret. Parents don't really actually know what the heck we're doing. We're just making it up as we go along. We really love our kids. We do our best. When we find out better, we do better.
No, that's not it at all. And I'm sorry if you believed her when she said that, because she's playing you, because she's just saying it because it will get her the views. And she's just jumping on the trend or changing her mind whenever it's convenient for her. She doesn't.
Wow. Mm. Okay, V said, I wonder what her husband's older kids or kids think of all of this. That's a good point, V. I'm curious to know because they're old enough to see the BS. Okay. They may not say it publicly on the channel because the reality is they are getting paid. Okay, they are getting paid for this. Yes, me too. Like I love her and how she breaks things down. Yes, they are getting paid for this. So the more the controversy when she sees something trending, and I just hate wishy-washy folks. Like pick a side, pick where you want to be. Okay. If you have a belief, stay there, but don't go like this lady said, you're going with the wind. She picks up, oh, this is trending. Okay, let me do a video over this and go with that thought process. Like that's just fake to me. And I think people will start to see through that. The more you watch her, you'll start seeing that she goes with what the majority says or what's trending to get her those likes and those views. And it's really playing your people. It's really playing to what your people want to hear.
Doesn't actually believe this crap. And that's why her content comes off as so disingenuous. And over time, this proves to her audience that she's not genuine or authentic, that virality and relevancy is all that matters to her in the long term. And what's that going to end up doing? It's going to erode the trust that her audience has built in her and end up alienating her audience, and they're going to leave. And those who jump in to her content now, most of them won't go back and look. They'll see a funny skit or they'll see a relatable moment or a parenting teachable moment and be like, yeah, that. latch onto that and start following. And it's not until a couple months go by and they start to see some inconsistencies that they'll start to question things. And that's how she hooks people, because most people, when they find your platform, they don't go back and watch all the old content. They just watch the new stuff and the new stuff that comes out, especially on TikTok, because it's so fast. It's constant. It's multiple times a day. So it's very easy to hook someone in with a well-written skit or a good, solid, teachable moment. And
wow. And that's exactly what happens. Because when I went over there, hi Kay, welcome. Hey Obi, I saw you're live. I'm going to sleep, but hit the light. We'll rewatch the live in the morning. Good night. Good night to you too, Kay. Thank you so much. That's another thing. I was saying that about Thorn as well, because they're rebranding. Notice that she takes her videos and the ones that make their channel look ghetto, she privates them, okay, because she wants it to be a certain image. So at face value, when you go to her channel, bam, you only see the skits and the shorts and the videos. Okay, you don't see the lives where she's going off on the reaction channels, cussing everybody out, doing a lot of the negative things to her children and so forth, which is the same way with Nika Diwa. Y'all were telling me about her channel. I go over there and I'm looking like, well, what is wrong? I mean, I don't see anything that this lady is doing wrong and all of that. But like she said, people would have to go and look at older content, or you would have to look at the reaction channels to get a more comprehensive view, because Nika Diwa does have reaction channels that react to her, just like Thorn has reaction channels that react to her content also. A lot of people are not going to do the footwork though and go and look through all of that. They're just looking at her daily skits and shorts and TikTok videos, and they're like, "Oh, I love this family. She's such a great mom." Da 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 da. But do you know the whole picture? That's the thing. And so new people are constantly subscribing to channels, and so then you get a crew that's like, they have the little blinders on because all they're seeing is face value, what's out there, but have not done the research to see what are some older videos. I just came across a video, y'all, in regards to Thorn from a totally different content creator that I've never heard of. And it was 5 months ago. It was a male that has a podcast, and he had a young lady on there, and he was talking about this whole facade that she has, and was going through older videos. Like, it's so many channels that are doing are doing that. And I was like, wow. Ebony said that's how I started watching Thorn, until I went back and started watching her old vlogs. Then she seemed fake. Okay, she seemed fake to me. That's when I started seeing the real narcissist. Okay, you have to go back. You have to go back. I love that. Who the F is she? What were you about to say? Hi, Vicky. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you have to go back. You have to look at what are some of the reaction channels saying, because those videos may not be up still. Okay, and they may have them. So I said, shoot, so I'm gonna go look at some of these reaction channels for Nika Diwa and see what else are they saying, because some of these videos I haven't seen. When I go over there and I look at her channel at face value, it looks like she has a great marriage. It looks like they love their children. They do vacations. Her husband loves prayer. And so I didn't see what everyone else was seeing, but I also didn't see some of these videos as well. Okay. And so it takes a more comprehensive view. Who the F said, it was my African husband and my white savior for me. Too many similarities. Exactly. They do that on purpose to get the race baiting. They do that on purpose. Yeah, you're right. It's that part is very similar. It's just opposite races.
not have them realize just how problematic your content is as a whole, if that makes sense. And then touching back on the repetition, she's constantly repeating jokes or little skits that once went viral, like the cheating jokes, which we're going to get into because, like, what? But I wanted to bring it up here because it's super cringy. And in my opinion, draws the line of what should be joked about and what shouldn't be joked about. How far she took those cheating jokes and the content that she made surrounding it all is it's too far, and it's extremely toxic. And
Right, exactly. So, what jokes go too far? Like in the let's not pretend, when they were in Hawaii, when Thorne was in Hawaii, and she was doing the let's not pretend. Now I don't think that was a joke, but that's cringy content. You're putting your husband's business out there, y'all's business. Then you want to come back the next day like everything is perfect. Then they played around with that as well. We are breaking up. They have done the we're breaking up, and my husband is leaving me. I know that I've seen that at least 3 or 4 times. Hi, Southern Girl, welcome. Like, how many times are you going to play with that? Okay. Now with Nika Diwa, here she is playing with cheating. How many times are you going to play with that? And if he did cheat, you're giving him reason to go cheat again because you're still doing content. Okay. Are you trying to do that on purpose to make him look like he's a bad husband? Because who wants to even play around with stuff like that? Some stuff you shouldn't even speak over your marriage. Okay. Thorne has done that so many times with the clickbait for her that my husband is leaving me. And then people get on there. I remember one time when he was in Hawaii and she had came back and she did a clickbait and she forgot she put the title because people were coming into the chat saying, "Oh, he's leaving you." Or why are y'all breaking up? And she was like, huh? Why everybody keeps saying why we breaking? She was like, oh, the title. Well, y'all, I was just using that for some clickbait. What? Okay. So then after a while, people are not going to trust you. Okay. When you keep playing with them like that, they're not going to trust you and it doesn't come across genuine. Okay. So yes, they're both playing that game.
to promote those kinds of behaviors is is problematic. We're going to talk about that later on, but she's done it more than once. First, it was her husband cheating on her with the pizza girl, and then it was cheating on her with the librarian. And then she follows it up with I'm gonna kill him because I'm so angry with him, and then follows it up again. That also shows a lack of growth and a lack of creativity and laziness. Let's be real here. And to top it all off, I'm pretty sure he has actually cheated on her in the past. He made a comment, I believe at her birthday party, I'm sorry for what I've put you through and blah, 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 whatever.
Wait. So Vicky said, I used to be a sub of Cactus. However, after she became pregnant with number 4, the constant complaining, acting like she was the only woman to ever be pregnant, the laziness, working on the workers, I unsubbed. Okay, I was never subbed. I was like, this girl is crazy. And the more I watched, I was like, oh my gosh, like it got worse. My first encounter was the kissing video. Okay, when they first got that 1 million subscribers and all of that, and then that video was going viral at the same time, that's when I started tapping in. And I never did subscribe. I just was watching. And I said, oh my goodness. Then I saw the reaction channels reacting to, her content. And I was like, man, they made it interesting because watching her is boring. Okay.
Because I was foolish, I was irresponsible, I was immature, I was careless. And for my family, that's it. I'm so sorry for you to put through nonsense.
So making
And that's uncomfortable. So if he cheated, he's apologizing, and she's with the caption acting like she didn't know he was gonna say that. To me, that seems rehearsed. Okay, it seems like y'all had a conversation and say, okay, so I'm gonna put the camera up and I'm gonna put this caption. You're gonna just do this and go ahead and apologize, and I'm gonna act like we didn't know. But then you set your kids up. Do they need to know about all of that? You know what I'm saying? To me, that's just things that you as spouse and husband and wife, that y'all can discuss that. But did they even know about it? So that would be cringy in front of the kids.
jokes about him cheating when it's trauma that you guys have actually gone through together and I guess worked through is, well, it's a choice, that's for sure. And this isn't even just a matter of recycling her own content either. There have been multiple times that she has directly copied another creator, just changed the caption or changed the word or whatever. When you have a certain type of content, there will be crossovers. Like I cover the same people that other creators cover, or if something big happens, we're all talking about it. There will always be crossover, but to directly take the same skit and just do it with you or you and your husband, that's silly. I want to touch on some cringy content that is, why is this being filmed? I don't understand how some of the things she posts she thinks is content, and we need to, as a general collective society, reel in what is appropriate to share on social media and what should be kept private. For example, the 17 diapers thing. Her 17 diapers was, she told her midwife that she didn't bathe for however many weeks after her first, so her midwife came over and gave her a sponge bath, and she's sitting in the bathtub naked with this woman over her bathing her. Come on. Think about this and how this whole scene was set up. Where did she put the camera? And she's recording this. And does the midwife know that she's recording it?
Ooh.
Or is she just have it set up and then like the midwife came in and like was helping?
Right. Do these people know that they're being recorded? Okay, let's think about the CPS worker. That lady coming in talking to Thorne, giving her advice. I don't even think she told that lady that she was being recorded. When she was at the child support office, did she get permission to record at the child support office? Now you're naked in a tub and this lady is doing this. Did she tell that lady that she was being recorded? I'm like, what in the world? Why would you do this? It didn't make sense. Okay, what was that about? That is sick.
Why would you film that and put it on the internet?
It doesn't matter what your goal is, making a resume, writing an essay, or drafting a cover letter. Grammar.
Hello?
Zizi, what are you doing? Zizi, what are you doing? What's in your hand? What's in your hand?
I can hear something.
What's in your hand? What's in your Oh my god. Give that to mommy. Give me up, mommy. Give it to mommy.
No.
What? Can you please give it to
No.
Well, don't rub it on your neck. Don't rub that on your
Okay, really?
neck.
And then there's so
Oh my gosh. So wait, you mean to tell me, was it even a midwife or one of her friends dressed up? Exactly, Ebony. Okay. So you mean to tell me, right, they didn't know. Right. She had that baby play around with that, because my thing is this: you thought to bring the camera out, you seen the baby holding it in her hand, so you mean to tell me you let her play around with that for that long? You didn't stop the camera, get that from her, then so, oh, don't rub it on your neck after this has probably been on your cootie? Did you even sanitize it? That is disgusting. And then trying to laugh it off, but then she put the blur on the baby's face. Girl, we already know that's your child. That's gross. Okay? Cringe. You just picked up the camera at that exact time. You're right. Exactly, Ebony. That is disgusting. And that to me goes with the child exploitation. Okay? You don't let your child play with something that you didn't possibly have on your cootie. What in the world? And then recording it. That's horrible. And then here we go with this mess. What is this? What's going on? Okay, some of this is worse than Thorne. What is this? No one talks about the grief on your last baby's birthday when you know you're done having kids. Now, you have to show the diaper. This is crazy.
So many videos of her parading around in diapers. And I'm sorry, but we need to bring back a little shame and humility in this freaking world. Because
But y'all know her doing that is getting people talking about her. she knows that. She knows that if she puts on this diaper, then people are going to talk about her wearing a diaper. So she's going to continue to do that. She knew what she was doing. You're trying to post about grief, but you know that the person is going to see you in a diaper and say, why is she wearing that diaper? Just to get a lot of different views and a lot of different comments. That's engagement. Yes, they're doing anything for views in my offset voice. Okay? Anything. That is just disgusting. Right. It looks unsanitary. Like, oh my gosh.
That's not normalizing crap. That is rage bait.
Yeah.
Through and through. It's not normalizing anything for you to show yourself in a diaper on social media. That's not normalizing postpartum. Lolo. Or to show yourself getting bathed. And I understand sharing these stories kind of in solidarity and not allowing new moms to feel so alone. I agree with that. But to completely overexpose yourself and every ounce of privacy you have, I don't think that it's actually helping anyone. It's weird. I'll say it. I'm not afraid to say it because it is weird. And the lack of shame in these people, it's astonishing. It's one thing to be vulnerable and real and raw and genuine, and it's another thing to take it 18,000 steps too far and parade around in a diaper. I don't understand how that's being real and raw. And then she's constantly posting content about her being overstimulated and basically having an adult temper tantrum, which, again, I understand that overstimulation is a thing. I get very overstimulated with my children being very loud. Noises trigger
like
me.
I
got that eating thing that triggers me. So hearing people chew is awful. I understand overstimulation as a neurodiverse person. I do. The last thing I would think to do while I'm in an overstimulated meltdown would be to whip out my camera and film myself having a fucking meltdown. That is it's too far. And it seems so.
Y'all remember Thorne in the bathroom crying and writing on the wall? Like they know that they're going through these situations or crying. Like when she did the whole vlog and she was shaking and trembling when she was about to get her surgery. Like some stuff, I don't know if I would just put it out there, but like who said anything for $1? Lolo said. Some people will allow themselves to be put out there to look any type of way, act any type of way so that people can talk about it. She puts the new meaning to the definition of sanitary napkin. Right. Okay.
Incredibly fake because anyone who's actually going through that knows that you're practically in a panic attack, especially if you've had to exit the room and take yourself away and you're not thinking about pulling your phone out and filming it. There has to be a privacy boundary and there isn't one with her. And I think that's why things are so uncomfortable because it's not just a matter of normalizing the uncomfortable stuff. It's oversharing, overexposing, and just it's not real life. Let's normalize going and helping our friends postpartum, going and being there for them, going and cleaning up the 17 diapers lying around the house because they're in the thick of it so that they're not all alone in a disgusting house. Let's normalize that stuff, not normalize leaving 17 diapers lying around.
Right, Ebony.
That's not normal, guys. It's not. And it shouldn't be normal. The toxic behaviors, the toxic relationships, the toxic parenting, that sort of stuff shouldn't be normalized. I don't know. Okay, I'm on a tangent. She's gross. After her mommy makeover, she leaves bloody pads lying all over the floor. We are trying to normalize disgustingness and a lack of basic dignity.
Now that's disgusting. Why would you put dirty pads on the floor? I'm telling y'all, Peach tried that stuff when she put the pad, saying when she gets a yeast infection, she puts the yogurt on her pad and was short, did a video over that. I'm like, that is to get the rage baiting, to get people to talk. So now this lady is even nastier. She knows what she's doing and she's putting bloody pads so that people can look at it. That's disgusting. Oh my goodness.
Humility. And I don't think that that is a line that should be crossed. There needs to be a level of privacy. Not everything needs to be content. And that's the dangers that she's building right now, is that everything in her life can be and will be made into content. So what's real? Nothing she ever does is real, because it's all for the camera. It's like she's running her own reality TV show, but nobody needs to see this. It's unsolicited.
She better say that again, because even with BB, Brianna, all of them, Peach, all of them, I know I've said over and over, is this a reality show? Because that's what I feel like we're watching. Okay, it can't be real life. It seems like they're putting on some type of reality show, because, baby, the craziness that they're doing, oh my goodness, I know I've said that over and over. What type of reality show is this? Because that's what it feels like.
Unsolicited bullshit being shoved into our eyeballs, and nobody asked for it. And nobody is appreciating this, or maybe some people are, but for the most part, I don't want to be scrolling TikTok and see a picture of or a video of a woman dancing in a postpartum diaper. I don't want to see that. Does it mean that it's shameful to be wearing one, or that it should be taboo to go through that stuff? No, but we don't need to overshare on the internet in order to normalize things. All that is normalizing people parading around on social media in diapers. It's not normalizing anything about postpartum or making people feel more comfortable. I don't understand how that is helpful in normalizing postpartum or mommy makeovers or whatever the case may be. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me that doesn't understand how that's possibly helpful. Who knows? But in my opinion, it's purely posted as rage bait because it's shocking, it's gross, it's weird, it's cringy, and people can't help but go back to her content, but give her the view and comment because it's ridiculous. Ultimately, this is just proving that Nika is 100% a clout goblin. Someone who will do anything for attention, who will latch on to anyone to get more attention. For example, Hannah, when the 17 diapers went viral, they made a video right after it. Stuff like that. She is a clout goblin through and through.
Me neither.
She always needs to be the center of attention.
What's wrong with these burger buns? They taste perfectly delicious, but due to a production mishap, their bottoms are slightly.
I know traditionally this is usually where we do the coffee on there. And your dad is here. He's watching from heaven. Your big brother is going to stand in for you.
Right, Vicky, I agree. So this lady likes the attention too. Nika likes the attention.
Although the parading around in diapers is relatively harmless, right? Everybody has the right to post what they want to post on the internet. At the end of the day, you do you, boo. And who are we to stop her, right? But as we go on, you'll see just how she weaponizes this trauma, these insecurities, all of this cringy content, and how emotionally damaging it can end up being for those involved in the content. And this is more so when others become involved, because at the end of the day, the only ones that are really affected by the cringy content is her, but also her kids when they grow up and get relentlessly bullied in school because this is how their mother acts on the internet. Could you imagine being a kid going to school and your friends saw your mom parading around in a fucking diaper, or constantly complaining about how horrible it was to raise you, or constantly parading around that your dad cheated on your mom? Kids are relentless, and she's not thinking about her kid's future when she's posting all of this rage bait content. She's just not. And this is a problem because it's a lazy form of content. And Nika, don't come for me. You yourself labeled yourself as lazy multiple times. And I know she's clapped back at people who try to call her lazy, which is really funny because she literally said that a lazy day at
Yeah, they both are lazy. No one wants that type of attention on purpose. Right. But she's trying to get that attention. She wants that attention.
home is perfect.
Sitting on the couch, watching movies. Just a lazy day is my perfect day.
Anyway, doesn't matter. It erodes the genuineness and the authenticity of content, and it ruins it for everyone else who's trying to normalize the harder part of postpartum, who's doing it in a tasteful, tactful manner. And that kind of mentality, this one bad apple ruins the bunch, is detrimental for those who are building their lives online, who do have genuine, hardworking, thought out content. How do people know that they can trust those influencers and that they're not all just one and the same? But people like Nika ruin it for everyone, especially when you start to look at the people that she's associated with. And then you're like, oh, well, it's not just her. Quickly, it becomes this mentality of, I'm not buying anything from an influencer because they're all shitty. And that sucks for people who are trying to actually put forth good content, who are trying to provide entertainment or education or anything and make a livelihood on social media. Now, before we move on to talking about the relationship dynamics, I want to talk to you about something that's a little bit more serious, a little bit darker when it comes to the cringy content. And we're going to get into this a little bit more in the parenting section, but I want to talk about the dangers of scripting children.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
like I said earlier, at first glance, it might seem like this genuine content, this relatable mom who you can connect with. But really quickly, if you take a look through her content, you realize that it's all scripted, all of it. And while scripting content isn't inherently bad, a lot of people do it. I script my deep dives, even though I end up on tangents half the time and it's just a mess. Regardless, I don't know. I don't know why other people script. I do it for organizational purposes. The issue is when content is put forth as genuine or relatable or real life, that is extremely misleading. And that's where we lie with Nika's content, because you can't be genuine and relatable and real and raw and also scripted and script your content and not be forthcoming about that. Right. And no, just not expected to like have a caption at the beginning of everything. But she tries to portray her entire platform as this genuine stuff, as these genuine interactions. Even when you see like the teachable moments, it's like she just caught it. My daughter said this and I'm so glad I caught it on camera, or whatever the case may be. So she tries to act like everything is genuine when it is so obviously scripted. And what's worse is the fact that she also scripts her children. She definitely feeds her older.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I believe they both do this. Okay. You can tell that number one with Thorn, she tells him a lot of times what to do. Now number two, they've admitted is the funny one. His random moments are really, really hi PM, welcome. Okay, she said up and down, I don't think Peach is a good mom. Just my opinion. Okay. I think I think it's some things that she does better than the other ones. Um, but it's definitely room for some improvement, okay, on some stuff. Because she'll buy and she'll take them to Disneyland. But I've always said this, I see the kids with Wood more than her. You don't see her interacting as far as teaching them the discipline and all of that. Like it takes more than just buying. But better than Thorn. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. Their kids are just props for content. Right, Vicky? That's exactly what all of them are doing. Now, I don't see Peach kids up front as much as the other kids. It seems like with Nika and Thorn, but yeah, they're using them. They probably don't even pay them. we already see Thorne barely buys new clothes and stuff. At least give them a cut so that they can get new clothes and shoes if you're going to use them for content.
Their daughter lines of what to say all the time.
As a sergeant in Iraq, I learned that you fight for the place you call home. And on Fort Worth City Council,
Were you wrestling with Guy last night?
Oh,
Why do you say that?
I heard you say pin me down.
that is inappropriate. Wait a minute. Are you serious? What? Let me rewind that little part. Now I thought Thorne was in. So this lady gives her children scripts.
What to say all the time.
Mommy, were you wrestling with Guy last night?
Why do you say that?
I heard you say pin me down.
Pin me down.
Well, we were wrestling for fun.
Who won?
I won first, and then your dad won after.
Oh.
In any given situation. Now, I think.
But you know what I noticed about that video? It seems like it was pre-recorded and then put on top of the video. It doesn't even look like it was like the little girl was in there in real time. It seems as though they sat and pre-recorded that and then put it on top. I could be wrong, but that's what it looked like to me on that particular video. Ebony said, good mom when it comes to buying them things and taking them out outings, but that's it. She has a lot of issues when it comes to parenting. Yes, exactly. I agree. Wow, that was inappropriate.
I think that kid is sassy and probably hilarious on her own accord.
How was your day today?
Oh my goodness, it was hectic. Yeah, I lost a nail.
Is your mommy?
Well, sort of. I call her mommy. And the quality of your work.
Because you're not being careful.
What?
Because you're not being careful. So that's
Okay.
not my fault.
Are we going to get this one fixed, yes or no?
That would be express. You have to take care of yourself.
Oh, girl, I'm trying.
Just do your best, Dad. Mother.
Similar to stuff, it's like, okay, that was funny and that was a genuine kid moment. But for the most part, if you look at any of the interactions between her and her daughter, the responses from a 2, 3, 4-year-old aren't appropriate for that age. And you can tell that it's a line that she was fed from her mom. Mm-hmm. When you script children, they grow up feeling that their thoughts and their feelings aren't their own. And their initial reactions to whatever given situation aren't good enough for the camera, which means that they're constantly going to have to be contemplating how to react to something versus just being allowed to respond naturally. And it also puts on this constant pressure and need to perform. So they constantly need to be on guard and be performing and be camera ready. And that's not an environment that children should be raised in. That's not a safe, healthy, calm, nurturing.
And y'all, I shared a video, an older video from when Thorne had the kids, number 1, number 2 in the video. And number 1 looked so unhappy and mad. But when the camera came on, he smiled. Like he knew to smile when it's action. Okay. Now, when the cameras are off, they probably go right back to being mad, not even loving each other, acting like they love each other, things like that. But when the camera is on, there are certain things they have probably told them you don't talk about, you don't say while we're recording. Okay. So, yes, I do think to some degree she has them prepared and scripted. And on that cursing video, y'all, which the one she doesn't want people to see, the person that edited that, I really love how they put the caption, because when he was cursing out his dad and grandparents, you could see him looking her direction and was like, am I doing it right? Or saying, is it okay? Like you could see him look her way twice to see if what he was doing was right and so forth. Ebony said, and won't none of these kids have anything to show for all this action, this acting, but old videos. Okay. Like, hopefully they have some money set up in a fund, give them some money each month to do something, be fair with these 5-digit checks. Okay.
Environment. And eventually their own self-expression and creativity starts to not feel good enough to them because it wasn't good enough for the camera. These kids don't know what they're participating in, especially if they're being fed lines. And a lot of Nika's content surrounding her children aren't necessarily developmentally appropriate for their age. So not only are they obviously being filmed without consent, because kids can't give consent, but they're also responding to a certain situation without being fully aware of what situation they're responding to. It's basically trapping the kid into saying this for the camera. And that might not be their true beliefs and feelings surrounding that situation. It's putting that adult thinking onto the shoulders of a child instead of the child being allowed to respond naturally. And that's a really sad spot for these poor kids to be in. And ultimately, at the end of the day,
Right.
if
Who the F is she?
the cringy content is what's working for her and it sticks to like the self-deprecating type stuff, then that's not inherently bad. You know, it gets worse as we go further into it, but her parading around in a diaper, like I said, you do you, boo. If that's what you want to put forth, then fine. Do I think that that's where we should go with social media, where absolutely everything is content and there's no shame, dignity, humility anymore? No, I disagree with that. But at the end of the day, it's her choice. However, we're going to get into the relationship dynamic.
Okay, so shout out to Deinfluenced. I love how she breaks things down. I totally agree with her. And watching this, it really made me think about not just even Thorn, but other influencers in some of these categories and areas she talked about regarding the content itself. Um, Everything should not be okay for clicks and views. Okay, and stop speaking things over yourself or putting that into the atmosphere, trying to go viral. Let's see. Vicky said, "Open book in chat. I'll have to catch the replay on the rest of this live. Everyone have a good night. You too, Vicky. Thank you so much for joining." But yes, so um, I really see a lot of similarities. I'm going to continue. We'll go into the next part, possibly tomorrow or Sunday, because tomorrow I actually have my workshop tomorrow evening, which I'm so excited about the writing workshop. For those of you who are attending, thank you so much for signing up. And thank y'all so much for joining on tonight. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, Michael Man, he has a short message that he wanted to share with you all.
After I say myself would play my theme song. Make sure you check out my hospital and my apartment and my new houses and my hotel. And check out my red truck on Amazon. It light up and it makes sounds and it transforms.
Oh wow!
And I also have a theme song to play. It's called "Explorer of the Jungle."
Okay. He has a theme song. You too, life. Good night. Okay, quickly.
We're in the
You
jungle
too, V.
looking for some things that we can find. What are these footprints? Let's follow the way and see where they go. Where are the footprints located to? Where are they leading? They're heading straight to the rainforest. Let's follow the footprints. Let's look them out. We're in the rainforest. The footprints are still there. They're heading straight to the forest. Let's look at the footprints. Let's look around and see where the footprints leading.
Yes, Ebony.
And what was that sound? There's a tiger after us. We better run. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, good job. Good job,
No,
man.
that's not the end yet.
Oh Lord.
Let's all say goodbye to everybody. Let's all say goodbye. 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 And goodbye.
Yay! Good job. Good job. Whew, thank y'all so much. I never know what I'm going to get. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.